The Roz and Mocha Show. KiSS 92.5.
Ron Howard, how are you,
I'm okay.
dude?
How are you?
Congratulations, the movie was so awesome.
Thank you. I'm glad you felt that.
How hard, I think all the ladies want to know, how hard was it to convince Chris Hemsworth to get naked in this film?
Not his favorite thing, but he's a good actor. And I think the same could be said for Natalie Dormer and the other characters who had to get naked in this movie. This was a time in the 70s when that kind of, the sexual revolution was on, you know, and James Hunt defined himself in a lot of ways, but sexuality was one of them, along with the intensity on the track and the hard partying. And that was a part of his character that we did not want to back away from, and Chris respected that.
And I was wanting to find out from you, because you have two amazing films in the festival, how did you get involved with Jay-Z for that project?
That was wild. It was mostly through Brian Grazer, who you just saw, you know, running
That's who that was.
Yeah, yeah. He's, you know, he's known Jay-Z for a long time. He's made documentaries, and he sort of brokered this and created an opportunity for me that was really a lot of fun.
Perfect. Thanks, bud. Daniel Bruhl, we meet again. How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you. You can go first. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Daniel, explain me what you have to learn to become the real Niki Lauda on Rush.
Oh, so many things. I mean, I always like driving fast on the Autobahn in Germany, but it's a different thing to drive a race car, you know. So
Formula 3.
Formula 3, yeah. I needed experience with that, you know. I needed to get my Austrian accent right, which is so different to the German one. So I spent more than a month in Vienna, and then of course I wanted to meet Niki, you know, and I just hoped that he would like me, and fortunately that happened, and then we spent a lot of time together. He brought me to he took me to a Grand Prix race in Brazil, so I got to meet drivers, you know, and I could answer him any question. I'm extremely thankful that this guy was willing, you know, to talk about the most sensitive stuff. You know.
Doing this film, did you gain so much more respect for people who do that for a living?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and it's so easy to drive fast.
I do it every day.
You do it, but it's so tough if something happens, you know, to get the car under control. I had like a minor accident in my fake Formula 1 car. A wheel came off just the first day I tested my Ferrari, and I made a spin, and I had these 2-3 uncomfortable seconds, you know, where I thought, wow, this machine is really powerful, and it's so hard to drive, especially back in the days when it was so risky, you know, the safety was not like nowadays, you know, so many drivers died, you know.
Chris Hemsworth, dude, how are you?
You got a helmet on.
I do. Good to see you. You must have gained so much respect for race car drivers for doing this. And by the way, I enjoyed seeing you naked in this movie.
Oh, thank you. I did, you know, and I never knew much about Formula 1 prior to this, and you know, once I started researching, and by the end of the film, had a huge appreciation for it, and especially in the 70s, where you know you had 2-3 guys dying a year, and prior to that, I mean, it was combat statistics. It's pretty, you know, horrific odds, and these guys, you know, stepped out there every weekend and partook in these events. It's impressive. Yeah.
Can you explain me how tough it was to become James Hunt? Like everything you have to prepare to be the character.
I mean, physically, I was shooting Avengers, you know, when I got this part, so I went from 215 pounds to about 185, and so that was physically exhausting, but it was a nerve-wracking thing to walk into, you know. You're playing an icon, you know, and you're playing a real-life human being that a lot of people love and have followed for years, and so you want to do that justice and with all the respect you can, and so you do all the research you can, and then you just kind of take the attitude that they did, these drivers, which was just, you know, you go for it and put your head down and do it.
Can I ask you one quick question? Is there any? Did you hear that Hulk Hogan wants you to play him in a movie?
I did hear that.
Would you do that?
I've done my biopics now after this one.
Would you do it though?
No, I don't think so, man. I've done that for my biopics.
Perfect. Thank you.
Roz and Mocha Show. KiSS 92.5.